Hello. It has been exactly 10 months, 16 days, and over 5 hours since Lilly and Jack Sullivan were reported missing from the very spot at 1407 Gairloch Road in Landsdowne Station, PICTOU, Nova Scotia. Today, the investigation reaches a critical juncture, right? As the police actually conducted the second round of polygraphs targeting the mystery of this pink blanket. So let's get started. How is everyone doing today? Everybody doing good? Everybody have warm weather, or are we still cold? I'm still cold up here in New York. It is freezing, you guys. So I'm happy to be here in my warm room, hanging out with all of you. I'm going to welcome in everybody, and we will get started on today's topic, and that is Jack and Lilly Sullivan still missing. But the main focus, and in my opinion, the answers come from this pink blanket. That is what the RCMP are clearly focused on, and actually have been focused on, and are zeroing in on this pink blanket. They want to know who planted it, right? You find the who, and then you find the answer, what happened to Jack and Lilly. So I'm going to welcome in everyone, and we're going to get started with today's show. Good to see you, Anastasia. Good to see you, Miss Joyous. Hello, always nice to see you. Miss Sherry, hello. Amy, hello, Bonnie. Beautiful spring day in Alberta. I'm coming to live with you. It is freezing here. 79, Miss Amy. Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. That is fire. That's awesome. Carrie, hello. Good to see you. Miss Kelly. Yes, Miss Kelly. It's always cold where you live too. I know it sucks, right? It's just horrible, the cold weather. Good to see you. Sherry Lynn. Hello. Wild Angel. Good to see you. Betty, hello. Thank you for being here. Miss Pam says it's 35 here. Yeah, right over freezing, right? It teases us. Good to see you. Miss Susan, hello. Sky Painter, boom, my tunes. Good to see you. Rain, and more rain. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. I guess we can be thankful that it's not snow, right? Snow is worse in my opinion. Still cold in Ontario, says Mama Angie. Ugh. We want the cold to go away. Hello, Seaweed. Good to see you. Hi, Daphne, mods, and chat. Thank you for being here. And Just Me. Hola, Daphne, and everyone. Thank you for being here. And if I missed you, thank you. Hello, Knitted. Good to see you. And Kamala, am I saying that properly? I hope so. Thank you for being here. All of you are amazing. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. Hi, Whispering Winds. Good to see you, Strawberry. Pam, thank you. So today's topic, we will be discussing Jack and Lilly Sullivan. And I have a fully packed show for you today. And I've been digging. And you know that I save everything, right? Everything that I see, I hear about, I save it. And I'm telling you, my folders for this case are just exploding. Hi, Miss Stella. Good to see you. So we're going to get into it. Do you remember? I'm going to show you something. Do you remember this right here? So I have dug out everything about all of the family, what they've all said about this blanket. And this was in the beginning, and this is parts of news clips. And the first one says, Martel confirmed that Monday night, the Mounties showed him shirts, a blanket, and a water bottle found during the search near the Gairloch Road. But he said none of the items belonged to either child, he said. Now, the other news clipping underneath, this was June 19th, 2025, says Martel confirmed it was a piece of Lily's blanket. There's more evidence than what the public knows. So why deny it? Why deny it at first when you actually used a partial piece of this blanket to block a draft, right? That's kind of strange to me. So why deny? And then you threw it away in the trash too, right? We heard threw away in the trash, and there was video recordings of him removing it from the trash, the other piece, right? Welcome in, everybody. Hi, love, Stan, forever. Good to see you. Good to see you. So we're going to go through a bunch of this today. First, I want to bring you over to one of my videos here. And this is from, give me 1 second to load it to the screen for a sec. And I'm going to pop it out here. And this is from our good friend, Hunter. And he did this like perfectly, because it has all the clips together. So we're going to get updated.
Yeah, so just touching on the subject of the blanket, I've kept pretty quiet. I have a son of my own, right? Lilly and Jack are my niece and nephew. But yeah, the subject of the blanket, it was found on a tree branch on Landsdowne Station Road in the evening of day one. Okay. It was used, or the other part of the blanket was used for a window or a door at the home, and it was thrown out. And this one just ended up on a tree, I guess. But yeah.
Interesting. And so you guys, I understand one of you took a photograph of the blanket and took it back to Malaya for identification?
Yes, Hayden and I did. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pause it right there because I'm going to read the left side for you guys. Hi, Jen, Wild Angel. Good to see you, Chris. Hello. Thank you for being here. This says they showed a picture to Malaya and Daniel, who confirmed the blanket belonged to Lilly. Well, we just read the first half of it that I just showed you, and Daniel denied that the blanket belonged to either child. Now it says underneath, Hayden said the blanket was hanging 3 to 3.5 feet off of the ground and hung up like a bath towel. He described it as pink, fuzzy, girly blanket, and that was stated on the documents. Now, the video clip that's about to be showed, it's Daniel, and he's explaining where the blanket was hung in the tree. And it's completely different from 3 to 3.5 feet off the ground. Also, if you remember correctly, Daniel was not actually there when this blanket was found, but a lot of people think Daniel actually planted this blanket, right? All right, so I'm going to continue with this. Hello, Leanne, Lord, everybody. Thank you and welcome in. Miss Robin, good to see you. Miss Robin just had surgery the other day. Send her healing love to Miss Robin. Hi, Robini, good to see you.
She said, yeah, it is. And so you called the police who went and, I guess, collected it?
Yeah, no, the police were already down searching that area, but it was in such an open spot that cops were already down there and it wasn't seen earlier on. So it's just all a little mysterious, you know?
This is Daniel.
And this is where the blanket was found. You can clearly see it was visible from the road. It's like 15 feet from the road. Maybe not even. Yeah, a little more than 15 feet. And this is the exact branch. So way higher than 5 feet in the air. It's actually over my head, so it's already 6 feet.
Okay, so how does he know the exact branch? How does he know? Can someone tell me how does he know this? If he wasn't there, he didn't see the pink blanket, right? The bus, it was confirmed that the bus, when it went by, the cameras didn't, the footage was too blurry, right? It couldn't be made out. There you go. In my opinion as well. Yes. So if I was, per se, like I was going to go show you something and I've never been there before, but I'm trying to explain it as I've, heard or read in the documents or heard on TV or whatnot, I'm not going to be able to say this is the exact branch. Now, I might be able to give you the location just from reading and, hearing stuff around and all that. But if he wasn't actually there, his mom wasn't, nobody actually witnessed this blanket other than Hayden, Haley, and I believe her name is Emily, Hayden's girlfriend. So that is my question. Yes, it is very weird. He would know because there was a ribbon marking it. Well, yes, very true. There's a ribbon. Is there a ribbon on the actual branch? Let's see.
That one right there. Draped over that branch.
Okay, so there. He moves the phone fast. Hold on.
So way higher than 5 feet in the air. It's actually over my head, so it's already 6 feet.
That thing is in the way.
That one right there.
Oh, I see a ribbon on the end. Okay, so there's a ribbon right here. Is that the exact branch? I thought he was touching over here. That's my question. So I think they didn't, they just marked where they found stuff or where they searched and stuff. So that's a good question, though. That's a good question. But in the documents, it states 3 to 3.5 feet, right? Now, 3.5 feet, yes, one of the kids could actually put that there. I do actually have a weird emoji. I do have one. It's got my face on it. It's one of the new ones down below, and it says weird, but the writing's really small on there. I'll have to make a larger one. So 3 to 3.5 feet, but he's saying 6 feet. Why would he say 6 feet for? Right? I just thought that was, weird. That's the area. I'm going to show you.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So was search and rescue in that area?
I don't believe on day one, go of when everything started.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I don't know how it was missed because it was right on like the start of like a logging road or ATV trail right by the main Landsdowne Station Road, the dirt road. But yeah.
4 is when they found the pink blanket that was Lily's. That was a portion of the blanket, correct?
Yeah. I'm not sure on the exact time on that either. It would have to be after 4 because the school bus goes up there around 4 o'clock.
Gotcha. And
because that school bus, it goes up and it actually goes up and turns at my Uncle Ron's house, which is about 500 feet past where the blanket was found.
gotcha.
So, and the bus usually goes up there, and the bus usually makes its way up there around, I don't know, 3:55, between 3:55 and like 4 o'clock.
And this bus has cameras, correct?
Yeah, the buses do have cameras. When they looked at the footage from the outside of the buses, the blanket was not there.
Interesting. And it went both directions, correct?
All right, I'm just going to pause it right there. They didn't say the blanket was not there. They did not say that, right? They said, I'm going to read the exact words they said. Investigators did review morning footage from a passing school bus, but the video quality is too poor to confirm whether the blanket was there / not there. Investigators continue to review all information surrounding the blanket to determine any relevance to the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. That was early November. Early November. Yes. So the blanket was found exactly at 3:20 right here. Yes. That's exactly when the blanket was found. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in.
It went,
Yeah, they both go both directions and multiple buses.
and it was not seen at 3:55, 4 o'clock when the bus passed.
No, they said they did not see it on any camera footage from the buses.
Okay, all right. And the other half, right, was found in the garbage.
I believe so. I wasn't back at the house for that to know that, but that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, that's what Logan said. And yeah, so.
Which is really peculiar, right? Like, how, if the blanket was put in the garbage, how did it get out of the garbage and half of it get into a tree, right?
And I mean, quite a ways down the road, like down the paved road from where they lived, up a dirt road, a good at least mile or two. So yeah.
Tell me about the blanket. In fact, he says he's tried to help. Like early in the investigation when police found a scrap of blanket on a nearby road.
I called it into RCMP when I realized there was a piece of a pink blanket found.
All right. I'm going to just pause this for a minute and I'm going to show you, I'm going to remove that so I can add that, right? So you can see where just don't mind the little black footprints. That was just to show something from a different video. But so the pink blanket was found right there, right? On this old logging trail that they used to use. Now, ATVs and stuff still use this particular, you could see, if you go on Google Earth or Google Maps, you can actually see where people on ATVs and stuff ride through there. Hi, Woman's Warrior, Linda. Good to see all of you. Yeah, Raw Beanie, absolutely could have. Absolutely. Thank you. Watching on TV. Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel like a movie star when people watch me on TV. So now this area here, as we all know, or most of us do, I don't know. Hi, Damien. Good to see you. That is still deep snow covered as of today. Oh, gosh. Don't we wish the snow would melt, right? Don't we wish the snow would melt? Wait, Daniel Martell said he called RCMP about the blanket. Yes, that was later on. So that's when he had his brother film him opening it. I think it's going to say it in just a second. Let me remove this. I'm going to add this back. Okay. And then, of course, this says Gagnon and Mason drove Hayden and Hayden's girlfriend back to the location where they saw the blanket. Gagnon seized the blanket. And it says Martin and his police dog were called to the area. He took photographs of the blanket. He walked for about 1 kilometer in the area with his dog on an adjacent trail. They did not pick up a scent to complete a track. Now, an adjacent trail, right? Could it be going towards this boot print here, right? Could it be going towards the boot print, maybe? I was surprised with the mild weather and the rain. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you get snow. You think it's going to be spring and then you get snow. Someone threw the blanket there. Should have shown him standing next to it. All right. Let me remove this. Move that. Add that. Okay.
The rest was here in Martell's trash bin. Okay. That blanket, one of the only clues as to what happened to...
I want to show that trash.
When I realized there was a piece of a pink blanket found.
Ah, come on. I'm going to show the... Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get to that exact spot where we were just at. Just start it there.
I called it into RCMP when I realized there was a piece of a pink blanket found.
You're not going to show the part that I want?
In fact, he says he's tried to help.
So that was a spot
like early in the investigation when police found a scrap of blanket on a nearby road.
I called it into RCMP when I realized there was a piece of a pink blanket found.
I'm going to show the. All right. So this bin goes up to almost his waist, right? I mean, he is bending over. Do you think Jack and Lilly could actually crawl in there? Right? Do you think they could actually crawl in there and get that?
The rest was here in Martel's trash bin. That blanket, one of the only clues as to what happened to 6-year-old Lilly and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan.
A piece of blanket was also seized from a garbage bin at the end of the family's driveway. Martel says it was the same blanket, but it had been ripped apart and thrown out.
I mean, it's mysterious as it is because the distance from the garbage bin to where the blanket was found is almost 1 kilometer.
I was actually
Question for you guys. Who else would do that, right? You have searchers everywhere. You have the RCMP everywhere. You have drones ahead. You have helicopters. I mean, you have dogs. I mean, who's actually going to crawl in there and grab a blanket, right? Who's going to do that?
told there was a piece of a pink blanket that was found up the road in a tree. And I said, piece of a pink blanket? Like, and I put 2 and 2 together. I ran out to the garbage bin and I seen that there was a hole ripped in the bag. And clearly there was somebody who went into the garbage or something went on with the garbage for a piece of that to be ripped out. Because usually when you look in the garbage bin, Daniel, and you see a garbage bag, usually it doesn't have a hand-sized hole ripped in the side of it.
That's interesting. Now, the pink blanket, when they told you about it, did they show you a picture?
The piece of the blanket? No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So they just told you they found a piece, and you went to the garbage bin. And
Yeah.
Where in the garbage bin was the bag that had the other part of the blanket? Was it towards the top, in the middle,
there
the
was
bottom?
These were like large industrial sized garbage bags, right?
Okay.
And Mom would always yell at me, don't put so much garbage in one bag, because I would always make the bags like really heavy, right?
Okay.
And so I had the blanket was in a garbage bag, but there was another garbage bag that was inside, right? So it was like double bagged.
Interesting.
And you could see I keep wanting to say a hole that was ripped in the side from a hand that went down inside of it and pulled something out, but it looked to be like somebody put their hand in there and ripped it out. But the blanket was still at the bottom of the bag, right? It wasn't pulled all the way out. It wasn't anything like that. So
was the trash bag in the bottom of the can or on top of like all the other trash?
It was the garbage bag, that one big garbage bag. That was like a 60-pound garbage bag. And it was that was the only bag that was in there.
Oh, okay. So there wasn't any other trash on top?
No, there was nothing else piled on top of it or underneath it.
So if somebody opened the bin, that's the first thing that they would see?
Yeah, they would be able to see the pink blanket in there, yeah.
Okay. And so it seems like in the documents that it alludes that they showed you guys a picture and that you guys confirmed it. Was that, if you didn't see a picture, do you know if Malaya did?
I'm not sure if she did or not. I have no idea.
Another key thing that came out in the documents is this pink blanket that, has come up in other stories we've reported on. And the key thing about this pink blanket is that it was found a kilometer from the trailer where Jack and Lilly disappeared from. And it's perhaps the only physical clue in the case. So what's interesting is that Malaya's sister found this blanket along with 2 other family members the day the children were reported missing in the afternoon. And Daniel originally said that blanket was not Lily's. Malaya said the blanket was Lily's. Then Daniel suggested that the people who found the blanket planted it. So I spoke with Malaya's sister, Haley Ferdinand, who found the blanket, and she denies having planted anything.
We most certainly did not.
And that's on everything I have, the person I am. I would not do that in the midst of to obstruct a case for missing children, regardless if they're related to me or not. I would never. So
why do you think Daniel is suggesting that you planted it? He told that to me as well.
Probably because I was the one that was hot on his ass the whole time we were there.
Okay.
And he didn't like me from the get-go when I got there, because he would not speak to any of Malaya's family when we showed up to help the search for Lilly and Jack. He'd put his head down. He would ignore us. He would walk away from us. He wouldn't engage in conversation. And I kept at him. I was there for Jack and Lilly, and I'm still here for Jack and Lilly.
We're not sure what all of this means, but it's very interesting information, and perhaps the only physical clue that the public knows about at this point. And that blanket, police have told us, has been sent for forensic testing.
Hello, bestie Justin Scotia. Hello, welcome in. Thank you for being here. This is the key to all the answers. This is the answer. When they find out who planted this blanket, then they will find out what happened to Jack and Lilly. The RCMP obviously believe that the blanket was planted, or they wouldn't be spending so much time and resources on it. What do you guys think? Let me know your opinion in the chat. Hi, DA. Good to see you. If those kids were outside before 8:30 a.m. and either got out on the Gairloch Road, then take it from there. Some people think maybe they were outside Thursday night, right? And that's scary to think about. The scent dogs lost their scent at the end of the driveway at the pavement. Now, that's interesting too, right? Now, they did catch the school bus there, right? So.
I just wanted to touch on a few things. I was actually there on Friday myself and good friends with Malaya. I just wanted to kind of touch on a few things that you said. So we were the ones that actually found the blanket. I know the blanket was found in the trees up on the road.
Half of the blanket was correct?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it does matter.
I wouldn't even call it half. Just a piece of it. And Malaya didn't leave Saturday morning. It was Saturday evening because an altercation had broken out and Daniel's mother actually tried to attack me. So it was well after supper Saturday when she actually left the premises.
The only little Texas tornado. Again, this is Malaya's stepsister.
I do just want to touch on a subject, though.
Absolutely. Yep.
The family altercation that happened in the driveway. I was there for that. So there's a big piece that Logan has left out, and I'm ready to share that because we all know and have not said anything, but it's a very crucial point that they seem to be skipping over. So this was just before the briefing, if I can remember quite right here. We were all in the house and Dan was in the bathroom. And when I say we, I'm talking about my sister-in-law, her sister, Leia's mother, my partner, and we were all in the kitchen and we heard like things rustling around in the bathroom. We're like, what the hell? So my stepmom went and knocked on the door and was like, damn, what's going on? Are you all right? Anyway, my sister-in-law went in and said she needs to use the bathroom. So he came out. So like he was rustling some things around in the bathroom. And we went in to kind of investigate after him. And there was drugs. Drugs was involved, and that's what fueled the family altercation in the driveway. And I'll be the one to say that because I got so freaking mad after this was found out, because then I said to him, I said, that's exactly why you're acting the way you are, running around like a madman acting like you're doing everything and everybody's just sitting back, like relaxing. Like nobody was, but nobody was running around like a chicken with their head cut off because we weren't on drugs. Do you know what I mean? But that's what the altercation was, because I was like, I confronted his family. It was actually me. And I said, what the hell, guys? Like, what's going on here? Like, why is that involved? My sister broke down and she admitted that he's been on it for 2 years or so. And yeah, so they all got very, very mad when that came about. And they all kind of said, you know what? We already knew that. Well, if you knew that, why the hell is there children in a home with somebody like that? Like, why aren't you protecting the kids that way? So Malaya broke at the end of the driveway. She was crying and I was like, you know, like, what's going on? And she wouldn't talk. And I looked at her and I said, now's the time to talk. Like, get fucking talking. Like, what's going on? And she broke down, and that's what it came about, that he was doing that. So that fueled the family fight that there was. And I mean, yes, Janie or whatever her name was did go at Cheryl. Logan was trying to fight everybody in the driveway. They kicked us off the property because we found out something that nobody was supposed to find out, right?
We had been asking him questions about these allegations of drug use, and he responds essentially saying, look, he's got nothing to hide. He acknowledges he's done meth and other drugs in the past, but he doesn't struggle with them. And the way he explained it to us was he was attending Narcotics Anonymous essentially to clear his name.
What do you make of all of the speculation that's going on? So many people will
Well, I can already tell you the drug party is absolute bullshit.
Yep.
And I even asked the RCMP, give me drug tests. I asked CPS, give me drug tests.
Yep.
They said, no, it's not a concern. We're not going to do that. I even go to Narcotics Anonymous.
Okay.
I do everything. Like, I go to air 3 times a week just to clear the air for all that bullshit. I mean, even when it comes down to Jack and Lilly, I'm the only one from both sides of the family that is actually doing anything. I'm doing media all the time. They probably refuse to do media with you guys, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're not talking.
Yeah, they won't do anybody.
The longer this goes on, Linda, how worried are you we may not get answers?
That leaves me sick to my stomach. I don't believe my grandchildren are alive. I have resigned myself to that one. But to not get answers, it's like, no. There's answers out there. 2 kids just don't disappear. And I'm so afraid that people will stop talking about it and they'll forget them.
That was Hunter S. True Crime. Now, I have a question for everybody. What makes you think that Malaya and Daniel have something to do with it? Like, just whatever the first thing that pops in your head, put it in chat. The first thing that pops in your head, put it in chat. If you think that Malaya or Daniel, whichever one, have something to do with it, just put it in chat. The first thing that comes to your mind. Hi, Justin. Good to see you. Shan, hello. Joya says, I think they do. Okay. Mama says their behavior. Sherry says, I don't, though. You don't think that they had anything? That's fine. Drugs. Okay. In my opinion, Lynn says Thursday evening, possibly. Justin says inconsistencies. Yes. All right. Statistics. Thank you. Yep. Their story sucks. Yep. Neglect. Absolutely. Hello, Lady for Justice. Daniel. We will not forget yet. They are responsible for their children and they don't have answers. 100%. All of their lies. Bonnie says Daniel's inconsistent stories. Malaya Brooks Murray's apparent apathy. Yep. Revenge. M&D. Both of them. Hi, Chickadee. Hi, Squid. Getting in. Did I miss much? Oh, you missed a lot. You missed no. you can rewind if you want, hon. Thanks for being here. Pam says Daniel. Abuse and neglect. And they can't keep their story straight. Lack of urgency. Yep, that's another one. Absolutely. Both lying. Neither of them showed emotion from the beginning and struggled saying Jack and Lily's name. Yep, I see that. Okay. This is okay. We're talking about the bus driver. Mother's phone to school saying they won't be 3 hours later. Well, that's another thing too, right? That got me. Jack and Lily's teacher said they had never actually met Malaya in person. I thought that was strange, right? Usually you, especially in a small area, right? It's a small school. You would have contact with the teacher, right? You would go to school and meet the children's teachers face to face. Maybe not so much if they're in high school, right? But usually in elementary school, even in middle school, like you have contact with the teacher face to face. And I'm not saying all parents do, but I mean, you go to parent-teacher conferences, just going there and talking to the teacher, meeting who your child's teacher is. Like, she never went to the school. I thought that was strange. Now, she did speak to her on the phone. Okay, Trudy said, the story after story from all that were on that property inconsistencies. And yes, that's one big one for me is inconsistencies. Oh, Sherry, I'm sorry you don't feel sick, hon. Or you feel sick. I'm sorry. You don't feel sick. Jeez. I hope you feel better. Tony says both of them. Run with scissors. Hello. Possibly they were looking to collect the reward. Okay, you guys are talking to somebody else. Info from story. Okay, I'm going down. So it seems like everybody's kind of got like the same. You guys are saying exactly how I feel, right? Based on previous cases, and the percentages are not good. Yes. So statistics. DA covering up neglect. Absolutely. And Patriot Girl says both money, rugs, inconsistencies, both interviews at the start, both lacking caring, abuse, neglect, everything. I'm not talking. Yes. And that's one thing that gets me. Yes, I know that she says that she doesn't owe anybody anything, right? And if she's talking to the RCMP, that's great. But nothing could usually hold back a mother from talking. And from previous cases, yes, usually when the mother doesn't speak, it's not a good thing. I agree. Hi, Jack, Peacemaker, good to see you. Drugs, neglect. So yes, so if there's drugs involved, absolutely. That is never a good thing. And it's usually always the same one, right? Meth is usually the same one in all these cases. It seems like neglect. Yep. As a mother, you couldn't keep me quiet until my babies were home. I agree. I absolutely agree. In my opinion, all three, no. Well, not advocating. Yep. Abuse. The way Daniel talks makes me feel like he really doesn't know where they are due to the drug use. No one put the kids to bed Thursday night, and they don't know what happened after that. Well, Malaya said that she put Jack and Lily to bed. They were hyper and excitable, but she was able to get them tucked into bed, which I thought those choice words were kind of strange, considering they had been up all day. Lily was supposedly sick with a cough or had a cough. I don't know if she was sick. She just had a cough, right? And they were out all day that day, well, from noon on, and then outside playing, we were told, when Daniel and Janie were building the fence. Let's see. And the two witnesses hearing the loud, yes. Hi, Jesse. Yes, absolutely. Two witnesses hearing the vehicle going by. I'm sorry to hear about that, Peacemaker. I'm so sorry, honey. All right. So I want to show you some stuff. So here again is the spot, the 2 red dots, pink blanket, boot prints, right? Now, if there wasn't so much controversy around this pink blanket, so many strange happenings, that's what I'm going to say, because we had Daniel say that it didn't belong to Jack and Lilly in the beginning when he knew damn well it did, because he used it. He used it to block a draft. So why lie about it? Like, I don't understand. And then we heard the statement that he didn't know if Malaya had planted it, so he didn't want to say something. I know that I heard that. I know a lot of other people have heard it as well, right? Like, I don't understand that. That's crazy. Okay, yes, exactly. Very strange. You know your kids' teachers. Yeah, to not know them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so I am going to take you over to some stuff that I have here. And this is everything that I have on this blanket. One second. From the start to the end. All right, let me remove this one because we've already went over this. For those that have missed this is just in the beginning where it says Martel confirmed that on Monday night, the Mountie showed him shirts, a blanket, talking about the pink blanket, and the water bottle found during the search near Gairloch Road, but he said none of the items belonged to either child. So this was Monday. Jack and Lilly went missing on Friday, right? So he's still denying it the following Monday, right? 4 days later, still denying it. Then June 19th, Martel confirmed it was a piece of Lily's blanket. There's more evidence than what the public knows. All right, let's do this here. I'm going to get rid of that, and we are going to start. Oops, we're going to start from the beginning here. Give me a second. I got a bunch of them here, like a bunch. So let me pull up. This is everything that I have. And some of these are kind of small, so I'm just going to blow them up. Okay. And this was Malaya. This was Malaya, right? And I'm just going to read through these with you guys. Thank you all for being here. This is Malaya. She says, I don't know why he lied, but my family never knew the blanket was in the garbage, nor did they know Lily's blanket existed, especially my friends. Daniel gave me an ultimatum. I'm not going to read that part because it has to do with Meadow, but I don't know why he lied, but my family never knew the blanket was in the garbage, nor did they know Lily's blanket existed, especially my friends. Okay, now this is from Daniel. He says, I had many interrogations, 2 hours just on the blanket. Just on the blanket. Yeah, Sharon, we were just talking about that. Good to see you. Good to see you. Just on the blanket. Okay, this is one of the neighbors. There's Miss Shannon. This is one of the neighbors. And he talks about the night that Daniel had left the house, right? Allegedly. Says, I meant as in he left his driveway 4 times, came back 4 times in total. Last time, not with a loud vehicle. And then at the bottom here, it says first time was in the opposite direction of the blanket. And you guys remember where I have everything mapped out. I think I've shown everybody the map of the spots that Brad had pointed out where Daniel went. Hi, Daphne. Good to see you. And one area was at where the Landsdowne Lake is, right? That's Matheson East or Matheson Road West. And then you have the area at the top of McLeod Road and Gairloch Road, right there at the tippity top, right? And then you have the area at the New Gairloch Road, New Gairloch, like the and Gairloch Road. And then the final stop was there on Landsdowne Road and Gairloch Road. Now there were specific, like certain time stamps where he was there for like 15 minutes in one area, maybe like 10 minutes in another and stuff like that. I don't have those memorized, but I have it on my map. And that's what he's talking about. So he said first time was in the opposite direction of the blanket. And I believe the first stop was by the Landsdowne Lake. Now, what if, allegedly, what was he doing that evening? That's my question. Hi, Andrew. Good to see you. Now, this is a lot here. This is a lot. And this is him talking about the blanket, right? And giving DNA. I'm just going to read through this for you. And it says, I tell them about, this is Daniel. I tell them about everything, Kent. This is to Kent, right? He's writing to Kent. I have them watching your show, talking to Sonny. He says, Jim Walker, which we all know as Tent, right? He did the drone footage, amazing drone footage. And then he says, I give them any locations the kids could possibly be. I gave them DNA. This is before he gave them the blood, right? He just DNA. I was the one that insisted the blanket was important to the case. But you were the first one that denied the blanket. He says the major crimes kept telling me it wasn't. But look now, the blanket is being sent in for forensics. I can't share information on the forensics, but I was given info. I also have information on the cadaver dogs. This is where he talks about the cadaver dogs. So what made him change his mind about the blanket? What do you guys think? Why do you think Daniel changed his mind about the blanket? What do you think? Put it in chat. Why did Daniel change his mind about the blanket? Why did he just, because Malaya said it was theirs, so he just went along with it when he knew it was Lily's? Yeah. Now, this is interesting, right? I'm going to read this. This says, we woke up. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see that okay? We woke up, didn't hear the kids, proceeded from the bedroom to the kitchen. I looked into the living room, no kids. I ran down to check under their beds, ran to the kitchen and got my shoes. Proceeded outside into the backyard, went around the fence. She asked me if I should call 911 while she's calling 911. I ran up to the kids' cabins to check. And when I was screaming for the kids on my way back down, that's when my mom came out of the RV and confronted Malaya. But if you remember in Janie's statement, Janie said that she came out and confronted Malaya and then ran up into, got her shoes and coats and then ran up in towards where Daniel was. And that's where they spoke, right? It goes on to say, Malaya, where she confronted Malaya, talking about Janie. Malaya, what's up? Malaya turned around and said, the kids are missing. Mom said, about how long? 20 minutes, Malaya said. So about 3 minutes to get outside, then about 4 minutes to get into the cabins and circle down behind the RV. But Mom confronted her when I was halfway back. With her 20 minutes, she said, we have a time around 9:35 to 9:45. After I got back down from the cabins, Malaya was standing in the same position holding, I'm just going to say the toddler. I ran into the house and did Landsdowne Road. I never seen the blanket in the tree, by the way. And then he goes on talking about going out to the railroad tracks on that road, turning and going down Landsdowne Station Road following it back to the 289 and finishing the trip by going up the trail beside the house to the right of the RV, if facing the driveway, right, which would be the little marsh area. Then he says, I met Mom at the top of the hill when driving back. See, this is confusing to me, right? How did you meet Mom at the top of the hill? Because Mom said she was basically going the opposite direction, right? She was going the opposite direction. She walked up the old road. Remember, the tree was across the old road. And then she basically came back down the 289 and then walked back to the house, she said. But this one, how would they meet like that? It makes no sense, right? So many different stories, Now, this is an old message about the blanket. Now, this is, when was this? This looks like it's from Haley and Cheryl from a while back. When Daniel had to, they're talking about the blood. This would have been around the time the blood was given for what they thought would be the blanket, I guess. I'm going to read this to you. This is from CTV News. It says, as for the police investigation, Martel said he recently signed a consent form and submitted a blood sample to the RCMP for genetic analysis. And he thought it, for the blanket. I watched investigators check the box for myself, indicating no criminal involvement, he said. So I have no criminal involvement. And that was my very first time seeing that in writing. Now, when he went in to give the blood, in my opinion, it had nothing to do, well, obviously it has nothing to do with Jack and Lily's case, which means it had nothing to do with the pink blanket. Focused on the pipeline. And that's where the pipeline were the blueprints, right? Goes on to say search warrants and the applications needed to obtain them are supposed to be made public after they have been executed, with some exceptions. But in this case, the RCMP have argued that a certain information must remain private as the police investigation continues. And it goes on to talk, despite several extensive ground and air searches, including a search in October using cadaver dogs, a few clues have been detected to indicate what happened to Lilly and Jack after they left their home in Landsdowne. In July, the Mountie said they were conducting forensic tests on a pink blanket found during the search of heavily wooded areas near the family's home. At the time, police said the family members had confirmed the blanket belonged to Lilly, right? And it just goes on to say what we just spoke about with on Landsdowne Road. So they are still focusing on this blanket. Why is that? Why are they still focusing on this blanket? This just goes on to say Lilly had the doll blanket that she sometimes dragged around her. It was her blanket she used for sleeping before she got an actual bed set. And she didn't want it anymore, so Daniel used it to stop the draft from the door that wasn't properly installed. He knew the blanket belonged to her. So was it true that he didn't want to admit it because he didn't know if Malaya had planted it? Why would someone not tell the truth right there, right? And this is why we don't trust what they say. This is why we don't trust what they say, because of so many inconsistencies, so many lies, in my opinion. Well, I mean, I've seen it within the writing. I've heard it. It goes on to say Malaya took the blanket from the door because the weather was getting nicer about a week before, and she threw it in the garbage. There was already a piece missing from when she did that because Daniel ripped it off when he put it up, right? Oops, geez. Oop, that's the same one we just went over. And this is more about the blanket. This is Daniel saying basically, he says, I'll add some extra human remains. Dog search the area, the property here, the blanket site, the pipeline, and areas between the property here and the Landsdowne Station Road. There was also unmarked talking about around Justin Smith's house. Now, that Lorda campground, they actually searched that area, and they actually searched the what was it, oh goodness, the sewage there, right? Not the sewage, the cannot think of the darn name. What cabins? Okay, so there are cabins at the Lorda campground, and then you have a little cabin and a church right next door to where Jack and Lilly lived. And then you have like a little cabin thing that the kids had made. Septic. Thank you. That was the word I was trying to find. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Yeah. Sometimes I can't remember what the heck I'm going to say. There's a lot of talk about this blanket in this case. It's like the most, in my opinion, like it's talked about, spoken about. So, and then now here it goes again. Malaya confirmed the blanket belonged to Lilly, but Daniel didn't at first. It was previously used to block a window, and the other half was in the garbage bag, Haley thought. But she heard this from other people. Haley said the cops went to the area and took the blanket. The canine came out and walked that trail, right? But didn't get a scent. And then Hayden said Malaya and his sister and Lilly and Jack are his niece and nephew. Hayden said he got a text saying the children were missing on May 2nd. So he went to Landsdowne to help. His grandmother, Patty, went with him, right? Hayden went with Haley and his girlfriend, Emily, to search. They drove around and Hayden saw a piece of fabric in a tree. He told his sister to stop so he could look at it. Hayden said there was a blanket on a branch. He said it looked like it could have blown there or someone threw it there. He said the tree is like an alder tree. He said the blanket was hanging 3 or 3.5 feet off the ground and hung up like a bath towel. Now, in the video that we just watched, Daniel said it was like 6 feet, right? Didn't the dog not sniff out human remains at the trailer park? No. No, not at all. Yeah, forts. Well, they call them cabins, Susan. They call them cabins. It goes on to say, which I call them forts too, but not cabins, but it goes on to say that, I want to go to the part here. Where is it at? Okay. So anyways, he described the blanket and it was located on the right shoulder of the main road at the corner. This I question, right? This I question. The main road is the 289. The corner of the road, if the corner right there would be Landsdowne Station Road would be first. But I don't know. And then it goes on to say, he said they went back and got the police officers who came to look at it. The canine unit came out, took the dog up the trail. Hayden said he took a photo of the blanket on Emily's phone and went back to show Malaya. Malaya said it might be Lily's blanket, but she threw it out in the garbage. Hayden said he did not know what happened to the blanket after all that. Hayden also said there was clothes on the ground, but they looked old and ripped up. And I think, is this the same? Okay. Goodness gracious. Okay, Joyce is going to answer the phones today. Yeah, Susan. Yeah, the sticks. So, okay, Susan, there is like a little fort, right up in the woods. It's close to like Janie's little RV, right, or her RV. And then if you go a little bit further, not on their property, but like a property over, there's a like a church, right? Just a little building, right? Like a tiny house building. It's a church. And then you have a cabin. You have a cabin there. Okay. This is Daniel early on. He said, who searched for 20 minutes and found it. So this is when he started blaming, right? Blaming Malaya's family. He says it doesn't fly to where the boot print was located 1,000 feet away. Come on, who happens to stumble upon it? And then it says Martel confirmed that. Now this was Monday, because remember Friday he denied it. But on Monday he confirmed that it belonged to Jack and Lilly, or to Lilly. And then he said that it didn't at one point. All right, so hold on one second. This is the transcripts from dispatch, right? This is the transcripts from dispatch. And they said, family has brought us to a location there, not far away. There is a partial piece of a blanket, which the mother says she believes belongs to her daughter, right? It's just off the road. And they're talking about off the road. And then they said the Landsdowne Road to N289. And they talk about a couple of pieces of old clothing, like pieces of rag, but there's a piece on the side of the road, right? What is this? Hold on one second. This is from one of the searchers. I don't know why that's in there, though. I didn't want to read that. 1 second. And this is what we just read too again. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Oh, this is where he talks about getting home. What happened? 20 minutes, blood drops, 20 minutes, finding a blanket. Treehouse fort by Janie's. Yep. The fort made by fir branches. Yep. And if you remember in the beginning, the fir branches looked like they had just been cut. And then afterwards, they were like all dried up, right? I thought that was strange. Do you remember that? Like they had just cut the fir branches. And then in the next video, it was like they were all old. Does that make sense? Like they're falling apart. Okay. Now, where did I already just read this one? Let's see. Yes, this is Daniel talking about his morning activities. Okay. Now, this is another one, right? Is this the one? Here, hold on. Okay, we went through all these. Let's see. I've got more. No, maybe not. Okay. He says the blanket site was searched multiple times. The pipeline where the footprint was found multiple times. The dogs also did the property here multiple times over and over. Let's see. The piece of blanket that was in the tree was on the railing and on the garbage. I have never seen a photo of the blanket on the railing. Has anybody seen a photo of that? Was the home they lived in ever tested with luminol? I do not know that. I do not know. Never heard that. If anybody's heard that or seen that, let me know. But I don't believe it was made public. If it was, yes, I would have too. Wait, where does Daniel say that the blanket is not Lily's blanket? Or the? Yeah, he did. He did say that. It's right here. Right here. Yep. So Monday night, right? So this was the Monday following the Friday they went missing. Yeah, guys, these AI videos, no. They put out just nonsense. They put out nonsense. Oh my gosh, Joyous, I'm so sorry. So this basically, hold on one second. Sorry, my dog was barking. Yes, so this was Monday night. So you have, okay, they went missing Friday morning, right? And when they found the blanket around 3:30, he denied it belonging to either child, right? He was still denying it on Monday night. And then the interview on June 19th, he confirmed it was a piece of Lily's pink blanket. Luminol or black UV light doors, windows should be fingerprint. Yeah. They would have to do it usually at night in the dark. I mean, yes, there is cabins around though. Back in the beginning, those forts were built with bare branches. Yes, they were. And look like cages. Cages after these branches with leaves, they were turned down. Malaya couldn't remember Wednesday or Thursday. No, not Malaya. It was that was Daniel. He flip-flopped Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, it's right here. It's right here on the screen that he denied it. Let's see. That's why I used, hold on one second. I'll be reviewing this case from the beginning. I have a reason to believe that whoever has done whatever to Lilly and Jack has done or is the one they know most. Question, is it possible they could get a warrant to forensically test the home and all the vehicles that were owned by everyone that lived there? Well, you'd think they had already done it by now. But I know they brought in cadaver dogs 5 months later and didn't find anything. I didn't believe Daniel when he said that the blanket was not Lily's. I said that he was lying about it, and what the hell would they believe him anyways, because they should just bag and send for. Yeah, I would have taken anything that possibly could look like evidence and bagged it. Yeah, yeah. Daniel said the kids aren't wearing what we think. Yeah, the clothing as well. That's another one. The clothing is another one. All right, I think we went through all of these. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Okay. All right, we just read that as well. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I don't want to read that part. Okay. Here's Daniel now. He said the main reason I decided to push forward with this because the information I've received from investigators, the blanket information I received tells me I need to accelerate the word, not because I have any involvement with the blanket, but because of the information received. Okay, so check this out. At first, he denies the blanket when he knew damn well the blanket did belong to Lily, right? He knew damn well it belonged to her. Like, you can't deny it, right? And then he goes and is pushing it. He's pushing the RCMP to take this blanket, find out, yada, 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 whatever happened with it, right? Now, this was a while back when he wrote this. This was what, like July or August or something like that? I agree. So think about it. And you're sitting there denying it at first, but now you're pushing it. You're pushing the blanket. And then they just did more polygraphs, literally, like not even a month ago, right? It was the end of February, not even a month ago. Oh, Daniel said he didn't see what they were wearing because they were covered with the blanket. Hey, yeah, Susan, that's interesting you say that, right? Because they were in bed and they were covered with the blanket. That's interesting you say that. Very interesting. See where you're going with that. He goes on to say, where am I at? Okay. The case lacks clarity when it comes to long form details. The small details it lacks, such as behind the scenes Amber Alert details. There was never an Amber Alert. Or details on the fashionable exit Malaya made, or the miscommunication on there being 2 pink blankets. There was 2 pieces of the pink blanket. I drove Landsdowne Road the morning of the disappearance. I never seen that blanket in the tree. I was on full alert. I've never seen the exact location of the boot print on the pipeline. I've only seen pictures of it at briefings. I have every detail surrounding it, such as the exact boots they had on were purchased and examined for true accuracy assessment, which he's talking about the receipts and Walmart boots like that. And the boot print had how it had the number 29 at the bottom from the casting that they did in the mud. I have all the knowledge on everything surrounding the case from others working on it. That's another reason I didn't display any longer form messages or interviews. I worked to gather more complete take of the disappearance. I'm sorry to say, but it's been 3 long, hard months. Okay, so this May, June, July, August. Yeah, this was in August that he wrote this. If I don't know, one will. People will always target me, but I also given the most to the public on the disappearance. No one can take that away. No one remembers at the end of all my shorter interviews, I always said, if you have any information, please come forward. Yeah, and they also asked you to say that as well. I've done that many times. I know local news isn't targeting towards younger audiences. I don't know what he's going on about that. There's bound to be inconsistencies. There's bound to be, I'm not a robot, I'm a human. But the inconsistencies, such as you denied the blanket. You denied the blanket when you knew damn well. And then the whole thing with mom, right? In my opinion, the whole thing with the mom. His mom, Janie said that she got out and went towards the kids' little forts, right? Because she confronted Malaya. She didn't say Daniel was standing there with Malaya. Yep, he said Malaya never looked in the bedroom or anything. Absolutely. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go through this real quick. So there are several inconsistencies. It's not because, no, you're not a robot. I understand that. Hold on 1 second. But they're playing out completely wrong. That's the issue. All right, I want to pull up this interview real quick. 1 second. Goodness gracious. There's so many of them. All right, let me pull this up. Oh, wait, this is the one. This is the short one. Give me a second, guys. Computer wants to act up here. All right, is this it? Nope. All right. So with all the inconsistencies, and then we find out about the drugs added in. Oh my goodness, come on. The drugs added in, CPS, right? What was actually going on here? What was actually going on in Jack and Lily's house? You guys tell me. You guys tell me what was going on there. For some reason, it does. Oh my goodness. Janie McKenzie's interview. That's what I want. The big one, the long one, not the short one. You got a million different people doing them, but not the one I want. Here we go. Perfect. All right, guys, you might have to turn your volume down just a minute. Okay. Let me add this. I'm going to remove this. Stop that. And add this real quick. So, all right. You guys see that?
Jack and Lilly would have. That Jack and Lilly came out of.
Is it up there? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Sat in there and had my tea. And then on Facebook, 7 o'clock, I get up.
Hi, Joyce.
Come over here.
Good to see you.
Fed my chickens.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, Ron, called me at 8:48 and asked me if I wanted to go to town with him. And I said, no. I said, I'm staying home. I said, next thing you know, my dog started barking and the kids were out in the yard. Now, you can see there's 2 swings where the kids play. My bedroom is right there. I heard the kids.
Pause it right there. I'm going to pause it right there. Let me put my headphones on for a minute. Okay. So when she said that she heard the kids that morning talking, right? She said they were playing on their swings. She had to have looked out the window. How would you know they were on their swings? They could have been just out there, you know, running around or something. They could have been playing, doing other things. So how did she know they were on their swings? That's what I'm getting. There's just so many inconsistencies.
And so that's where I heard them. And I can hear everything in that trailer.
Mm.
If 2 kids get out of a fence, and Jack and Lily are all the time yelling, especially Lily, come on, Jackie, let's go, Jackie, let's go, Jackie. It's all I hear out here. When the kids get out of the fence and come out through here, I would have heard them yelling, come on, Jackie, let's go, Jackie, let's go.
But you did hear them. You just said that you heard them on the swings. Yeah, she said that she heard them, not seen them. But how did she know exactly where they were at, right? So, and then you have the question of the shushing, right? She says that she didn't hear anybody shushing. That's another thing. That's another inconsistency, right? The shushing. I have a message from Daniel saying that mom heard shushing. That's what he said. I'm not making up stuff here. I actually have it where, you know, it just doesn't make sense. Even Belinda said that she said that. So I have it right here. I'm just going to show you real quick. This is Daniel. I'm going to show his little picture, right? He says, the dog did bark, but very briefly. I'm guessing whoever took them may have said to shush, don't be loud. This is early on. I think she said by the swings, but also possible to hear the swings if there's any, it could be a squeak or something. I would be afraid to sit on the swings with the duct tape and that kind of that rope that she's got going on there, that polyester rope.
I didn't hear anything. The next thing I heard is I heard Daniel yelling. He was yelling for Jack and Lilly.
Oops.
I didn't get up because I thought he was yelling for Jack and Lilly in the house. The next thing you know, I came out of the trailer after I heard Daniel about, I'd say, 10 minutes after I heard him. I come out of the trailer. I opened Aya, was standing. Yep. And I come out. And I said, "What's up?" She said, "Jack and Lilly are missing." I said, "How long?" She said, "About 20 minutes." I closed the door, got my boots on, came out here, ran up in the woods.
So she ran this way, right? She went the complete opposite way Daniel went, right? Went the complete opposite way Daniel went. Daniel went towards where the blanket was found and the boot prints. So does that make sense to you? So how did he meet Mom? I have all Janie's audio. It's in the playlist. If you guys go into my Jack and Lilly playlist, I have it right there. It says Janie McKenzie audio. I've had it up there for, ever since she did it. All of them. I know a few of us have it. Mine's in the playlist. If you just click on the playlist. At the end of the live, I'll post both the playlist up in the corner. So all you guys have to do is just touch it and then it'll pull up the entire playlist for you. But so my question is, I'm just asking a question, right? If Daniel, okay, for instance, he said he went this way to check the kids' forts, exactly where Janie is at now, right? He checked the kids' cabins is what they called them. I just showed you guys that. So if he ran up there to check the kids' cabins, right? And he was still up there when Janie came out of the trailer and confronted Malaya, right? Janie says she went back into her RV, grabbed her boots and coat, and then ran up. She's showing you right now exactly what she did, right? Then she said, she's about to tell you that her and Daniel spoke, and she says, "No, I'm going to go this way." Daniel went the complete opposite way. He ran back down. So Malaya was still on the phone texting or messaging or something like that. And then he went inside the house, remember, and grabbed the keys and the white Nissan Pathfinder, right? And then went towards Landsdowne Road, towards the blanket area and stuff. And then he says when he got back, he met up with Mom on top of the hill. But yet, doesn't make sense because he met Mom on top of the hill. Doesn't make sense because she went the complete opposite way. They made out of sticks and fir branches. And that's where they go. You can see them and hear them. We went for walks in the woods. I had to practically say that he was walking through all that tree falls. There's an old road up back. When I got up to the top of the hill, I met Daniel. And I said to him, I said, "Did you find them?" He said, "No." He said, "You coming with me?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm going to search this area." Yeah. Because when she told me the kids were missing, you automatically think that's your friend. And I did this whole area to the dirt road, came back down here, and came back down the side of the road, came back down here, and came back up the same spot. I went back into the house. By the time I don't know exactly what time,
We're here.
Bye, Leslie. All right, I'm going to pause it real quick. Karen, no, but I heard that one of them actually watched the Sebastian Rogers case, though, which is interesting. Mine is not talking, and there's no people talking in there. I don't know what you're talking about, Patriot Girl.
There was a bench sitting here, or a sawhorse. It's over there.
I was actually in
was
that
sitting
chat.
here. I was sitting on it, bawling my eyes out. I was crying because I blame myself for not getting up that morning to see the kids. Because if I would get up, it would have never happened.
Because she used
Okay?
up.
That's why I was crying.
We've heard a lot about the patio door.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see that.
Sure.
So this is the patio.
This is the patio door.
Mm-hmm.
That Jack and Lilly would have.
That Jack and Lilly came out of.
And so tell us why we've heard about the patio door.
Because everybody's saying on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok that the patio door makes a noise, and why they didn't hear the door open. The bedroom is back there. Okay.
That far window.
The last window is the bedroom.
And so they would have come out this door.
They would have come out this
that
door
morning.
Yes.
And then they went and played on the swing set.
Yes.
And that's when you heard them.
That's when I heard them.
See, I just don't understand. If she heard them, then how do you know? Well, I mean, they would have came out that door. Okay, so she's probably just guessing that they came out of the door. Is she just guessing that they were playing on the swing sets? You know what I mean? Now, I do know that she mentioned that she did tell, this is what she said, that she would tell Malaya when the kids were outside, when they'd have no coat or boots on, right? So that's interesting. Maybe she did hear the door open. Yeah, maybe she heard that door open. Yeah, unlocked. Did they unlock the children? Jack and Lilly unlock the door, or was it left unlocked? That's a question, right? The kids were not allowed nor welcomed in the GM trailer. Her dog is number one. Yeah, exactly. And she wouldn't put a pool in front of the area where her dog comes out. And again, if she didn't know anything, she's pretty sure when she says that's the door they came out of. Yeah. So I wonder she could probably hear the door. It probably shakes her little RV there, in my opinion. Yes, many inconsistencies. The parents should be reinterrogated. Well, it seems like they're still doing that.
Right here in this area here. I plan on putting a pool up this year for the kids. You need level ground for a pool.
This pool is...
That's what I was doing. I was leveling out the ground to set up the pool.
Yeah. And this is the Thursday.
This is Thursday.
Right.
Friday, all the investigators, search and rescue and everything. Right around here was where they found the only footprint.
This is the boot.
This is where I was raking that night. That's where the boot print was found. In
That
the mud
night.
where I was raking.
This is where I was raking that night. But yet it wasn't night time when you were working on the fence with Daniel, right? Remember. They got home at 3:11. Malaya had a video call with Cindy. I know some think that Cindy didn't see the kids, but it said Cindy didn't see anything that was abnormal, basically. Said Cindy didn't see anything that was abnormal. That was at 3:30, right? So they have their video call. Malaya and Cindy have the video call. Cindy didn't see anything abnormal, the kids, whatever. Then it states that Jack and Lilly may have went outside. Well, we can confirm because Janie said they were outside, because when she came out of her RV, Jack says, look, Granny, I found a bug. I found a centipede, right? Remember that? And she says, good boy. Then she said that she worked on the fence with Daniel. Daniel said it took him a while to go find his tools, but he found them, right? Janie said that while Daniel was looking for his tools, this had to be around like 4 o'clock, right? She was raking for the pool, right? She says at nighttime here.
There was 2 boot prints.
There was supposed to be a footprint found away up on the pipeline.
Right.
Malaya sent me the picture of it. That's all I know. There was a footprint found.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, it was here. The only one that they can... Yes, a man, one of the investigators came in here and was measuring it all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to lie. The reason why...
Is Joyous still in here? Is Joyous still in here? Does anybody know if Joyous is still in here? Raking, not shoveling. Yes. Yeah. First, it was shoveling a pothole, right? And then it went to raking. Now, I know people are like, oh, the kids are buried in the... No, I don't think that at all. I don't think that whatsoever. But I think the rake... very, very suspect. I don't know what... has she ever shared the photo of the footprint? Malaya Brooks Mauricer. No. The only photo we got of the footprints was just that black and white one where it had like a footprint, and it's very odd. Thank you. She was in here a few minutes ago. Thank you, Scotia. I was looking for her in here. I didn't realize that she got people memberships. I must have been reading something. I didn't see it, and I feel horrible. And I want to tell her thank you. All right, let me finish playing.
I wanted you guys to come here and do the interview here is to show you exactly where everything took place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And to show people that this is what happened. All this people, rumors and accusations about us murdering the kids and burying them on the property. Yeah. This place has been searched, well checked. All the barns, my RV was searched 3 times. The trailer was searched. This whole place was searched. If they want to come back, search again, they're more than welcome.
You've talked about drones flying over your property. You've talked about cars driving down the road and slowing down. What's that been like?
I'm scared to go out sometimes in my own property. I mostly stay around back here. And if I do go out front for anything, I usually have my head down because I don't want people to see who I am. Not because I'm hiding from anybody. I don't like to get a camera. I don't like my picture taken. I'm just a quiet person that just wants to be left alone, and I mind my own business. I'm just a hermit.
Do you feel as if the finger has been pointed towards you and Daniel?
Yes, I do. Because I live on the property. Come on.
Do you think your son had anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lilly?
No, I don't believe Daniel had anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lilly. Our heart don't lie, and my heart's telling me that my kid did not have nothing to do with this, and I had nothing to do with this. You know,
I do, like, I feel for her there, like, I do, right? And you know, it does seem like she's upset that she didn't wake up that morning, because usually, like it was said, that she usually tells Malaya, hey, Jack and Lilly are outside. They don't have any boots or coats on. I don't know. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let me add. Hold on 1 second. Where am I at? I put my AirPods, my thingies here. I don't think that they are around the house. I believe that he took them to where he was working and did something. I don't know. I know some think, well, maybe Jack and Lilly just walked off. What if that night, Thursday night, they got left outside? What if they got left outside? Because we do know neglect was going on. So what if they got left outside and they were freezing? Hi, Adele. Good to see you. They were freezing outside, right? But I don't see them going in that trash bin. They're too small to get into that trash bin to get a blanket. But they, I know that Jack and Lilly are smart enough. If they got left outside, they would have been banging on doors and stuff. You know what I mean? To get in. Excuse me. They would have been banging on doors and stuff to get in if they got left outside. They would have knocked on Janie's door. They would have knocked on the doors in the house to be let in. I mean, let's say nobody answered any of the doors. Where are they going to go to next? They're probably going to go to walk down to where Earl lives or somewhere over there, right? I don't believe anybody took Jack and Lilly. I don't believe they were given to anybody. I would believe someone picked them up first because they weren't being watched. Someone picked them up and took them before believing that they were given to somebody. They knew where Earl lived. Yeah. Now the RCMP, they don't believe that Jack and Lilly. Yeah. What if they weren't allowed back in? Well, do you think Janie would let them stay outside? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there was a huge fight over that. Maybe, I'm just throwing stuff out there. If they weren't allowed back in, maybe there was a huge fight over that night. They knew the Wongs had kids, and because of the bus, they knew where their house was. Yeah, true. Someone known to the kids. That is it was a crime of opportunity. I thought maybe someone had grabbed them in the beginning, right? Because the first thing that we heard, somebody close to the area posted that there was a party that night. So, do you think that she would interfere if she witnessed the kids outside, pitch black, dark, and weren't allowed inside? That would be horrible. Kids that young, would they know how to walk to Earl's? I don't think kids that young have a good sense of direction. I mean, depending on how the school bus goes, right? We know the school bus goes down that road, circles around. I don't know the exact stops of the school bus, but does it come? Well, obviously it has to, because if it's coming from Salt Springs Elementary, it has to come up Landsdowne Road. That would be, if you go from Salt Springs, you have to come around and go up Landsdowne Road and then make a left on Gairloch Road. I would think that would be the route to take. You would think so. You would think that they would be arrested for neglect. Yeah. I'm just throwing things out there. So we know now that the RCMP focused a lot on search. They focused a lot on their search, searching that area. They did grid searches. They exhausted their search where the boot prints were. They exhausted it. Finished. Like there's nothing else they could do, basically, right? They haven't been back out there other than bringing the human remains dogs out there 5 months later. And now they are continuously focusing on that pink blanket. And that's telling me that when they find out who planted the blanket, and they obviously believe it was planted, why give people polygraphs if they didn't think there was foul play with the blanket? They're not just going to do it because Daniel says, oh, I believe someone planted it. They know Daniel didn't tell the truth in the beginning about the blanket. They know that. They have that. They know that he didn't tell the truth about the pink blanket in the beginning. He denied it belonging to Lilly whatsoever, to either kids, he says. He denied it. So that tells me that they think something suspicious about it. He says that he pushed that blanket. He pushed the blanket to be picked up by forensics, but that's a lie because he was still denying it. He was still denying the blanket the Monday after, right? They went missing Friday. Come Monday, he was still denying that the blanket belonged to Jack and Lilly. But they already grabbed the blanket. Think about it. They already grabbed the blanket by that same day. The day that Jack and Lilly disappeared, they grabbed the blanket, talking about the RCMP. They bagged and tagged that piece of blanket in the tree. They even put a marker on the tree right there to show that that's where a piece of evidence was found. So they asked Daniel about it. He denied it. Malaya said it was Lily's, right? And then here comes the whole shebang about, I put the blanket in the trash bag. Somebody must have reached in the trash bag and grabbed it. Yada, yada, yada. And then he says later on in August, we just read the information that he wrote to Sonny, and he said that he was the one who pushed for the RCMP to take the blanket to do forensics, but they already had it. They had it on Friday. So right there tells me that's the answer. There's your answer. You find out who did it to who put that pink blanket there. You find out your answer. And it's like common knowledge. Interesting to me that now Daniel has said 100% my DNA is on the blanket. Yeah. Well, all their DNA is going to be on the blanket too, right? Because it's been hanging up blocking a draft. So everybody's DNA is going to be on the blanket, in my opinion. He didn't tell the truth about anything about what happened. I don't know why. And twisting words, in my opinion, it seems like. Living in that trailer, trying to be happy and just being a kid must have been the hardest thing in the world. I agree. I absolutely agree. Let me do something really quick. I want to, so are you guys subscribed to Shan's channel? I'm going to do something real quick. Let's see. She is going, hold on. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to give you a thing real quick. Here we go. Copy that. Shenanigans is going live right now. She said at 6 o'clock. So is 6 o'clock now her time, right? Let me see. 1 second. Let me make sure. Okay. Well, she said she was. I was going to send everybody over, but I don't see her live right now. Touch DNA. What about another source of DNA in question? Okay. Say we're talking about the blood. He just had to give his blood, right? In December, was it? December? That is for something completely different. That has nothing to do with the pink blanket, in my opinion. For the blood he had to give was for something else, obviously. It had nothing to do with Jack and Lilly. Hi, good to see you, Leslie. Hi, who knew the blanket was in the bag? Who would stick their hand? Who knew? Exactly, Leslie. Well, Daniel knew the blanket was in the bag. He knew the blanket was in the bag. Now, Malaya threw out a piece in the garbage, but the rest of the trash, right, blanket and whatever else, was thrown in a large contractor bag and then put inside of a that trash box. But nobody else knew. Nobody else knew about the blanket being in there. So that's another thing, right? So the answers surround the blanket. The answers surround the blanket. Daniel being so specific about the handhole. I agree. I absolutely agree, Meredith. That's a pretty name, by the way. I knew that, but what if they found a different source of DNA, not touch or blood? Oh, like, I see what you're saying. Well, I mean, like, so, yeah, I see what you're saying. They could have, I guess, but when the RCMP said that when he came in to give his blood sample, it had nothing to do with Jack and Lily's case. So the blanket that was found on day 1 has to do with Jack and Lily's case. So that's why I think it has to do with something else that they found. And no DNA like that is, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to say it, is on the pink blanket. No one in Nova Scotia other than Janie was raking. Yeah, nobody's raking. Nobody's freaking raking. Especially at night. Who the fuck is raking at night? Nobody can even see. 3 of them knew that it was in the bag. Yeah, you're right. Malaya, Janie, and Malaya threw it away in the trash, right? And then Daniel took that, like, say she threw it away in a trash can, like a smaller trash can or whatever. And then he took all, like, the smaller, like the trash bags and stuff like that out and put it in one large contractor bag is what I'm getting from it. And then Janie said, don't fill it too heavy, which I don't know why she cares if he fills it too heavy, unless she has to carry it down and put it in the trash bin. But he said he did that. So why does it matter if he fills it too heavy if he's the one actually filling the bags? Unless there's like a minimum or something, you can't have too much weight in a bag when you put it in there. I don't know. Does that make sense? Exactly. It makes no sense. Oh, hold on. Daniel B. Yeah. Oh, I missed somebody's question. Hi, Marie. Thank you. Love you, Daphne. It will all come out in the wash. We all know who did it. But Briggs, thank you. It will all come out. It will all definitely come out. I agree. Thank you so much for being here. And I can bet you bottom dollar, when they find out who planted the blanket, they will find what happened with Jack and Lilly. Oh, I'm so sorry. You have a migraine, honey. That's the worst, isn't it? Trash. Yes. Trash inside the trailer. I heard it was bad. The blanket could be a distraction. The blanket is definitely to divert attention away from something. Like, okay, so around the time that they found the blanket, on dispatch, if you look on dispatch, they were, actually, let's look that up really quick. Give me a second. I'm going to look up dispatch really quick. They were over there searching the Landsdowne Lake. So if you think about that, right? If you think about where they were searching, transcripts. Is that it? I got to put in dispatch. So if you think about where they were searching that day and the time that the blanket was planted, I think you can kind of put 2 and 2 together because, here, let me do this real quick. Blanket. You can put 2 and 2 together because they wanted to divert away from where they were searching, in my opinion. That's why the blanket was planted. I don't, that's my wild guess. So let's look. So the blanket was found, remember, around 3:30. So we can go up here and look and see where they were searching prior to it. So this was 3:22. They were searching a lot around the Landsdowne Lake, right? Talking about the Landsdowne Lake here. Let's see. I know they were, let's see, Landsdowne Lake. They were doing, let's see. We're looking at searching the waterways north of the residence up near Madison, what's Matheson West Road. So the waterway is the lake, the lake, right? And hey, the waterways, I'll get right back to you. So yes, Landsdowne Lake. That's where they were focusing on. And then the blanket popped up out of nowhere. I thought that was interesting, right? So let's see. And they were talking about, let's see, looks like an old park there. They're talking about you'll see the Commons truck. Okay. So it looks like they were searching the Landsdowne Lake up near Matheson West Road. And then the blanket just pops up out of nowhere. Hi, Gypsy. Thank you. Yeah, I got receipts for days, just as long as I can find them, because they're all over the place. I got them in my email, in my phone, on my computer. I've even got, you guys are going to think I'm freaking crazy. Hold on, watch. I write notes down on everything. Check this out. Look, I got, I'm going to show you. I've got notes for days on this case. Look, just freaking, like, I write notes down on my mail about this case. That's how freaking crazy I am. Look at the notes. It's like all over. I have notes here on my desk, like notes here. I got notes everywhere. I got notes on my refrigerator. If I have something in my head that I want to talk about or I want to figure out, I will like find whatever piece of paper is closest and write it down. And so, yeah, it's crazy. You guys would think I'm nuts. Like I got Post-its like all over my computer and everything. So pink blanket is key. Yes, I agree. The more larger YouTubers that cover it is great, just as long as they get everything, correct. Because I know a lot of people go off what AI says, and it's not. You call me a weirdo. All right, Cal. A lot of people go off what AI is saying, and it's not 100% true. So, for instance, and then you have all these AI channels now that are just horrible. It's just nothing but nonsense. Some people, like one of them says kids have been found on it, and I report it like every time I see it because I'm like, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Yeah, it's good when they do the research on it, but some of them, like, oh. All right, I'm going to get off here, and I guarantee you, they find out who planted that blanket. The blanket is the key to finding what happened to Jack and Lilly. I'm telling you. And then if you look at the dispatch transcripts and you look and see exactly what the searchers were doing within the hour prior to the blanket being found, they were trying to divert attention for some reason away from that. Whoever planted it. Hi, Liza, good to see you. Oh, yeah, the blanket was planted. Absolutely. I don't know by who, but it was planted. I just don't like when people, lied about it at first when you knew exactly that it was Lily's, right? It's sad. It's very sad. I'm going to put Shenanigans channel in here. Thank you. This is Shenanigans channel. If you guys want to go catch up with her. I know she is doing a live at 6 o'clock tonight. I thought it was 6 o'clock, or it's only 5:30 here at my time. So if you guys want to go catch her, I know she's having a great live. Thank you, Miss Robin. I hope that you are doing better today. It's great to see you here. Who's stranded? Thank you, Scotia, for being here. You're always a joy. Who's stranded? Who's stranded? Oh my God, Liza, are you freaking kidding me? I am so sorry. In the snow, right? I am so sorry. Yeah, that snowstorm and stuff is no bueno. No bueno. Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense. The only sense it makes is because the fact that they didn't, whoever planted it, right? Didn't want someone looking over there. Because thinking about it, when you find something, right, you contact, you're like, oh my God, there's a blanket. There's something that was actually found of use. You're going to pull searchers away from the area, right? You're going to pull attention away from the area that they were in to where you want them to look. So, yes, thank you. We will do coffee. Oh, hell yeah. That would be awesome. Thank you. I love my coffee. Way back, I felt the kids were in a vehicle and the passenger hiked the blanket. Yeah, I thought that too. Like, or it blew out of the window or something. Thank you, Squiddy. Much love to you. You guys go on over to Shan's. She's going to go live soon. You guys go say hi to her, hang out with her, sub up to her channel if you aren't already subbed. Damien says theory is that it was on the ground and lifted up by. Yes, I heard that as well. But how did it get out of the trash bag though? So, it's very, and then Daniel denying it at first. And that's where it gets me. Why would he deny it? Maybe it did. Maybe somehow, I just don't see how it got out of the trash bag like that and just blew up on the tree. I mean, I could see it blowing up on the tree, right? Like say, but how would it blow all the way around the corner and then down the road? I could see it blowing up into like the nearby area. I know the helicopter was at the Black House on right there on the corner of Landsdowne Road and Gairloch Road. I know that's where one of the helicopters would land. But I don't see it going all the way that far. Now I can, like, if there was like a really bad storm, if it was already out of the trash bag. Yeah, I'm sorry that you were in a blizzard. Whoever planned the blanket didn't think. I think the RCMP do think it was planted. Why would they spend so much time? Yeah, it is strange that he denied it. And also, if they're still polygraphing people on the blanket, that tells me a story. That tells me that they're still digging into that they feel. I mean, I'm trying not to put words in their mouth, but it's kind of like common knowledge. Why would they, if they thought it was from rotor wash, which would make sense, right? If it was out of the trash bin or whatever, if they felt like it didn't have anything to do with Jack and Lilly go missing, why still polygraph? Why still keep polygraphing people on it? Like they just polygraphed Hayden and oh my gosh, I always get their names with the girls, right? They just polygraphed the girls and Hayden on the blanket just the end of February. So why do that? And I think they polygraphed others too, but they're not wanting to release that information. I've already tried. Lake search. Yeah, if you guys want to go, the dispatch transcripts, it's pretty interesting, you guys. Hi, Just Peachy. Thank you. But I'm going to get off here. I appreciate all all you guys for being here. Yes, they did fly low, but the thing is, how did it get out of the trash box though? Right? Like that's where I'm getting at. How did it get out of the trash box? And then it's just freaking weird. It's so all weird. And they would, if they thought maybe, if the RCMP thought it was just as innocent as the helicopter moving the blanket around, they wouldn't be polygraphing people on it. I mean, they know a lot more than we do. And they're not polygraphing people because Daniel says, oh, you need to look into this more. You know what I mean? Like it's just freaking weird. Or a plow pushed it. Yeah, but it wasn't snowing like that for a plow to... It wasn't even snowing, was it? It was just cold. Oh, since Daniel originally said that the blanket was planted, that tells me it wasn't. Oh, like you're using reverse psychology? Well, the RCMP believes something. That's why they're polygraphing people on it. It is certainly weird. Damien, is Shan live right now? I told her I was going to send everybody her way. I put her link again in the chat so everybody can go in there. Love you, Miss Robin. Thank you. I feel bad that I didn't see Joyce's memberships in the thing. I'll have to send her an email. So she isn't live. I thought she was going live. Why isn't she live? Well, shit. Well, I think she is today. She told me she might be. So you guys head on over there or keep checking or whatever. I just posted her channel link. And I appreciate each and every one of you for coming in today. You guys are amazing. And I am trying to find out more information. So Daniel originally kept saying, I can't believe they didn't find anything over there. Yeah, I remember that. He said, I can't believe they didn't find anything. I don't remember saying over there, but I remember him saying, yeah, I can't believe they didn't find anything. Not even a pull-up or a backpack. Yeah. She's not going live tonight? Okay. Thank you. I thought she was. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. That sucks. All right. Well, you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for being here with me. She is tomorrow. Thank you. I got to take these headphones off because they're killing my ears. Like they just squeeze my ears. They hurt. My ears are small. But justice for Jack and Lilly. May we have answers soon. May we have answers soon. And we do know there's a new search coming up as well with Please Bring Me Home. May they have the best of luck in searching. And hopefully something, will turn up. More answers. So I can bet you guys like $1 million. I'm not killing. Well, I don't have $1 million, but I could bet you guys that blanket holds the answers. I'm telling you. So yes, hugs to all of you. Love you guys. Yes. Take care. Love you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Stay warm or stay cool wherever you are. Good night.